Hey there, September is right around the corner. That means the start of school for both elementary and like middle school and high school students, but also college students. And the other thing, a lot of times that happens in September is people start their fall internship, which is super exciting both for the student and the organization because a lot of times these people have um, been in contact and in conversations for months, and now you finally get to like show up and do the work, which is super exciting, but also a little bit stressful because there's going to be people standing around staring, saying like, "What do I do next?" And so, how can you, as an organization, make sure that you're ready for that intern? Well, there's a few things that you can do. The first thing is to think about is like the physical logistics. So like, where is the person going to sit? Do they need a computer? Do you already have one, but it needs to get reconfigured? Is the person going to be working remote? And if that's the case, then like, how are you going to get them there, the technology that they need? The second thing that you want to think about is a list of duties. So, what kinds of things is the intern going to do every single day, every single week, maybe every single month, depending on how long they're going to be with you. But really being clear and specific, especially before they show up, about like what you for sure need to have done, will be really valuable to you and your team. The next thing you want to do is identify their point of contact. So, is there somebody who's going to be their mentor? Is there somebody who's going to be their manager? Is that the same person? Is that two different people? Um, and think about like some who's going to have time to do like regular check-in meetings. And this is even more important, I think, if people are working remotely, because you want to make sure that that intern has like somebody to talk to and they're not just sort of like sitting in their apartment wondering what they should be doing next. And so maybe at the beginning, the first couple of weeks, those check-in meetings need to be like pretty frequent. And maybe as a team, you'll also want to decide that too, is like, is it going to be a beginning of the day and the end of the day kind of conversation? Is it going to be every few hours? Is it going to be once a week? That will sort of depend on your team and the projects and all those sorts of things. But that's something to at least have a conversation about to figure it out before your intern or interns show up. And then the final thing is like, do you have a sample project or like a project for them to get started on, even if it's a small project or even if it's a project that um, is like a previous project that you've already completed, but like they can use as a case study and to like practice. Because like nothing is worse than being someplace like the first week or two and still learning all the things that you need to learn, but also just like not having anything to do and just like having to take in all that information. It can be really overwhelming, and kind of boring sometimes. And so remember that especially student interns coming off of the summer are used to like doing lots of things. And so having a project that they can actually get their hands wet or dirty or whatever you want to call it, is going to be really helpful for them, both to like feel like they're part of the team and to get engaged, but also for you, give you a sense of like what they're capable of, maybe the places that you're going to need to work specifically on some coaching with them. It'll tell you a lot. If this is, I guess the final thing is that we are launching in September two new things. One is training specifically for interns, so communication training to try to help students who maybe are showing up at your office and they're really great, but they don't necessarily know how to send a professional email, or they don't know necessarily how to run a meeting, or how to deliver bad news. And so um, got two online courses that are built specifically for interns and entry-level employees. The third class that is also a part of that series is a manager survival guide. So if you haven't dealt with Gen Z before, these are anybody who's like 24, 25 years of age or younger. It's like a lot of like really amazing and awesome things, but some things are a little bit different than previous generations. And so it's really good to have an idea of like what you're getting into and how best to you can help these interns, and communicate with them before they show up. And then the second thing that we've got is a Bright Manager circle where we've got a vault of skill specific 10 to 15-minute classes that you can take when you have specific problems. So, say you're really struggling with how to delegate to people, there's a class specifically on how to delegate. And so it's content you can trust, it's content that you know is practical and real world solutions, that you don't have to like go on YouTube and try to figure out like A, listen to suggestions, and B, try to assess like, does this person actually know what they're talking about or not? We've got all of it in one spot. Plus, on top of that, you'll have a monthly opportunity to do an in-person webinar online, but a live webinar, and have the chance to ask some questions along the way. All right, remember that times are really, really weird, but it's okay. You'll get through it. You're strong and brave. Remember to take a deep breath, and I look forward to connecting with you back here soon.